This is St. Lawrence College's information session about our IEOP, so our Integrated English Online Program. My name is Alex Zimmerman, and I am the Regional Manager for International Student Recruitment across Asia. I'll first let our main guest speaker introduce herself. So Inning, I'll turn things over to you to do a quick intro for yourself, please.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everybody. My name is Yining Chow. I am the Associate Dean for Global Learning and Partnership. And I run the English program. This is the one that we will introduce you to today and hopefully answer your questions. At our college, we provide the English program to allow our students to study English and improve their English to the point they can meet the requirement to enter our academic program. So we call this a pathway option. So this provides a pathway from studying English to an academic program. So I saw that we have quite a few of our country coordinators here that they can hopefully answer more questions if you have any after today's session. But we will give you an introduction and have a chat about our program. Wonderful. Should I turn over to Ivy?
Please.
And here with me today is Ivy Zhang. I'll let her introduce herself. She's the coordinator to manage this program. So a lot of the administration, when you apply, when you have questions, when you need to connect with teachers or our tutors, she's the one who will co-respond or answer your questions in email. So Ivy, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ivy Zhang. I work in the international office as the short-term training and logistic coordinator. As Yining just mentioned, I do the support and administrative task for the English program. And very nice to meet you all.
Great. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Inning. Lovely to have you here with us today. Before we get into the question and answers part of this presentation, which is what this presentation is about, I'll ask our country coordinators to first quickly introduce themselves, just who they are, what regions they oversee, and I'll also ask them, after they've introduced themselves, if they can just put their contact information into the chat so that anybody here knows to reach out to them. So Sue, are you here today?
Yep.
Can you start with an introduction for yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Sue, responsible for SLC Korea. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions regarding of our processing.
Thank you, Sue. Tyrion.
Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Tyrion from China North. Today, I'm very happy can see each other in our open house. And if you have any question, please feel free ask us. Thank you.
Great. Zach.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zach. I'm from Vietnam. I'm responsible for Vietnam market. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Ollie.
Hello, good day, everyone. My name is Oliver, and I'm responsible for the Philippine market. Just like what they said, if you have questions, please feel free to ask, or you may jot them down at the chat box. Thank you.
And Kitty.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kitty. I'm from China and in charge of China South market. So if you have any question, you can put it on the chat box and ask me. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kitty. And as you might be able to tell to all of our guests today, we have a number of languages represented here as well. So for those of you who English is just the beginning, you are welcome to put questions in the chat in your language, as long as we can help to answer it. So if it's in Vietnamese or Cantonese, Korean, maybe even Tagalog, but I don't know if we'll have anybody from the Philippines today. But please feel free to write in your own language. You can even ask a question in your language and we can translate as we go when the time comes. But before we get into that, I want to, we've already kind of introduced our students, but Zhao, if you can hear us, can you just quickly introduce yourself, who you are and what you're studying at SLC?
Hi, everybody. I'm Xiao. Yeah, I'm from Guangzhou, China, and I study in IEOP advanced class. My teacher is Kaylee. Alex, can I, because I got prepared to say something. Can anybody give me minutes to say something to all of you?
Do you want to say something now?
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. And in the IEOP course, I was appreciate every teacher because I get first English interview and first English report and first English presentation, because it is unbelievable for me to do that. But in the end, I finished. So sorry. I really like this course. Yes, I think it is indispensable for the next academic study. And report is really a challenge for me because in the writing process, I made so much mistakes, such as lost the references and changed the topic and modify the structure, so that I spent so much of time. But thank goodness I finished. This is really a memorable experience. So thank you IEOP class.
That was wonderful. I'm trying to find the there. I'm clapping. Thank you for your lovely words. Okay, great. And then we have one more student who's with us today, Lan from Vietnam. Lan, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome. Can you just tell us quickly who you are, where you're from, and what level of IEOP have you studied?
Yes, I am delighted to be here today to tell you about my introductions myself. And absolutely, my classmate is Zhang. She is my friend in the IEOP, and also I am studying at advanced class, and also Kelly teach me, and to be honest, is really kind and tolerant. And also I am studying, I have taught before, I am studying at advanced class. Also, I built a lot of research to study at this level because it's so hard for me to understand and do like report. It's so hard. I don't know how to differentiate in structure and formats to do that. But about Kelly, Kelly is really kind and adorable. She gives me some questions and gives me some. You need to do the first step, and the good line for me step by step to do that. Yes, to be honest, I thank you so much for studying and became become an international student at St. Lawrence College. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And we actually have one more panelist who's joined us finally. So V, can you hear us, V? And if you can you unmute yourself and put yourself on camera and quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is V. I'm from Vietnam. Like last year, I took the IEOP advanced class. My teacher was Rasa, and at the beginning, I really don't know English. But right now, my English getting better. I'm so happy, and just feel like my English can prove so much. Just want to say thank you to my teacher, and I can be so confident to be here to talk with everyone.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
So Inning and Ivy, I'm going to turn to you now to ask you the first question, and either of you can respond. Can you describe a little bit about what exactly IEOP is? If you can just go through what IEOP looks like in the eyes of an incoming international student.
Sure, Alex, I will start. So when you come to Canada to study, and I know a lot of you are thinking about that and are planning to do that, including the current wonderful student. I see 3 of you here. It's great to see you guys and know that you are having a great experience with our English program. So when you are planning to study or to work and live later on, maybe some of you have that goal, but some of you may just want to try this out for a few years. No matter what your final goal is, having English and enough English to be able to study successfully and to work and to live in Canada is very important. Myself and a lot of our my colleague here have that experience. 25 years ago, I guess that was when my journey started. I was 25 years ago. I put a lot of effort into learning English and to plan to move to Canada and to study in Canada. So the IEOP program is really laying that foundation for you to be able to comfortably use English in this environment, whether it's studying or living or working in Canada. And I say the word comfortable, that's very important, because I know a lot of you probably have studied English in your home country, in your current school or previous schools. And you probably learned a lot of the words, you learned a lot of the grammar, and you have taken a lot of English tests. That was my experience when I was a student in Taiwan. That's where I grew up. So I know you have all studied and studied English as a subject, but to be able to use the language comfortably to communicate, that takes practice, right? It takes practice. So I think our students like Xiao, Lin, and Vi, when you come to our program, you have all studied English, but you feel you're not comfortable using English yet. So that's what our program is providing to our students, is an environment where you can do a lot of those practice. And you still have to study more words. I'm pretty sure our student here can agree to this, that there's lots of new words, new vocabulary. You have to review a lot of grammar. You have to do a lot of practice, whether it's a word or sentences or writing a paragraph. You have to speak to your teacher, to your tutor, and that's another part of our program. We have dedicated tutorial for students to just do one-on-one practice, and you have no choice but to practice. But it's a safe environment to practice, because you can make all the mistakes you make, it's okay. And it is why we improve and why we learn through those mistakes. and we have our teachers, you will have your classmates, and you will also have a tutor who will be by your side, helping you improve and making less mistake. But don't worry ever about your mistake. I still make mistakes. How many years have I been in Canada? 25 years. I still make mistakes. I'm still learning English. This is a lifelong journey you will embark on. And what the IEOP program does for you is to lay that strong foundation for you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Inning, for that overview of IEOP. And it's so true. It's a lifelong experience, even for somebody like myself who, I mean, I grew up speaking English, but it's constant where you hear things differently, you say things differently, you adjust and you adapt with time. So for a second language learner, it's even more true, I think. Let me come back to V, and I'll ask you a question, V. Do you feel like your time studying in IEOP has improved your self-confidence when it comes to communicating in English?
Yes. Hello, like I think like each day I spend like 2 or 3 hours to learn the vocabulary and grammar. The grammar like a little hard for me, but you know, like day by day just practice. So I think it's getting better. Yeah, and it is enough time for me like to study by myself.
Thank you. Your English is fantastic, by the way, so you have nothing to be worried about there.
Thank you.
Zhao, can I ask you a question? Can you tell us, is there something that surprised you about your time studying in IEOP? Was there something that you didn't expect that has been a pleasant surprise for you since you began studying?
Alex, please pardon.
I'm wondering, was there something in IEOP that was unexpected when you started studying IEOP? Something,
unexpected, you know.
yeah, something new that you learned that you didn't think you would.
I think it's accent from different countries. Yes, it's not easy for me to understand different accents.
And so how have you adjusted? How do you make that so you can still learn even when you have accents that make it more difficult in the classroom?
I think the best way is to practice and communicate more and more with my classmates. Yes.
I think that's a good point, and that's something that you don't always think about, is that there are so many students from different countries who are bringing their own uniqueness to the classroom. So that's a good point.
Very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Inning, I'll come back to you. Has the pandemic changed the delivery of IEOP, or has it remained the same?
Well, IEOP is a result of the pandemic that we created a completely online program. So before the pandemic, our program is on campus. And I know students are moving to Canada to study pretty much a full-time program. They have to be on campus, just like any other college students. But for a lot of our students, I notice it's quite a struggle in the sense that they have family obligations. Some of them have young children they have to take care of. And I have kids myself, so I know at 2:30 in the afternoon, you have to go pick up your kids. Early in the morning, you have to prepare their lunch. So a lot of the times, students have a hard time coming to college, and doing at the time was about 22 or 24 hours in class time, spending a lot of the time in the classroom. So when the pandemic happened, we switched online. So everything was done online, and we also adjusted the format, because if you ask someone to be online for 24 hours nonstop, it's not a good learning environment. It's very, very exhausting. By the end of probably the third hour in a day, it is not very effective or not a very good environment to be continuing to study that way. So we changed the format. IEOP now has two parts to it. One is your self-study. So what we say is we will give you work that you can do on your own. And that doesn't mean you are completely left on your own. Your teacher will give you instructions. Your teacher will say, for this unit, you need to practice this. You need to review this vocabulary. And then when they go into the online class with the teacher and with other students, they have opportunity to practice what they have learned in their self-study. So IEOP become a completely online program, and it has two parts. One is you study on your own, and the other part is you come and interact with a group, with your teacher, and with your tutor. I want to emphasize the tutorial part. That is your one-on-one time. You are by yourself with a tutor, and you can ask all kinds of questions that's relevant to you. You can really focus on the skills that you need to practice more. So IEOP is becoming more flexible as a result of this pandemic adjustment. And we plan to keep doing it this way, because then you can tell our students, I think Lan and Xiao, I don't know where V is in terms of her location, but they can study from home while they prepare their journey to come to Canada. So IEOP gave our students that flexibility. So you can start your journey from home. You don't have to right away move your family or move yourself and spend a lot of money on those expenses. So that's another advantage. You can start from home. You can start learning English in the comfort of your home, but you are very connected to our teacher. Okay, our quality of the instruction has not really changed. If in any way, it has improved because of this online format, because you still have a lot of interactions with your teacher through the online format. It's not in person, but online you can still participate very well. There's a lot of activities and practice you are doing with your teacher, with your tutor, and with other students. And your time, I call that self-study time, your time on your own is actually very effective. I don't know how the students and others are feeling. When I was studying English, I needed time by myself, right? To just practice, to memorize those vocabulary, to write my sentences, to talk to myself, to practice those pronunciation over and over again. I can embarrass myself. I don't have to embarrass myself in front of other people, but I will do a lot of practice and just make sure I know how to pronounce the words, how to say the sentence. Those alone time, I call them alone time, self-study time, is very, very precious to me. And I need that as an English learner. And then I can go to my tutor or can go to my teachers to further practice and make sure I can use the language I just learned. So yes, it has changed because of the pandemic, and it has changed to be more flexible, to be more responsive to students' needs, to be, I think, more effective in helping and supporting students' learning of English with both your alone time, but also group time, also tutorial time, one-on-one with your tutor. So all this has made IEOP a very unique program, and I'm very confident that students who sign up for this program can improve quickly.
Inning, you brought up a good point, which is that IEOP enables students to study from wherever, including from their home, the comfort of their own home, while they prepare to possibly come to Canada and possibly to study in an academic program after they complete IEOP. So Lan, I'm going to ask you a question now. Can you tell us what academic program are you expecting to study after IEOP, or have you already started?
Yes, I will expect an interest in interest in biotechnology. That is a range of career that I want to study in St. Lawrence College, because I bring a trust and potential. Well, yes, maybe I just bring my myself, my trust, and my uncle recommend me for apply this school. And also I shared about information and I search explore. I explore detailed information at this school, and also it impresses me to become an international student at St. Lawrence College. And I hope in the future I can become a student with not really an international student. It's just a student, real student, and I just hope I can bring awareness or just bring something is special for this school. I hope that. Thank you.
That's great. So just as an example, Len is planning to come and take biotechnology, which is one of our 3-year academic programs after completing IEOP. And that's really one of the main objectives that IEOP serves. Of course, it helps you improve your language skills, but it does so with the intent of eventually progressing to an academic program. And for many of you here, and many of the students who take IEOP, that is the main goal, is to come to Canada, to come to SLC, to St. Lawrence College, to study an academic program and to graduate, and then stay and work in Canada for however long after, until possibly you obtain permanent residency status. So this is a stepping stone. It's a step in the direction of the academic programs, but it's also a tool that can be used simply to improve your English skills if you're already in Canada and you're a foreigner, or if you're an international student elsewhere. This is something that you can do to help yourself adjust to life in Canada. Absolutely. Thank you, Lan. Zhao, I'll come back to you now. Can you tell us a bit about where you are in terms of your IEOP study and what you plan to progress to in terms of an academic program?
Sorry, Alex. I think I have some problem with listening. So
okay,
please.
okay,
Yeah.
no problem. This session is all about speaking slowly and taking our time, so there's no worries. I'm asking, similar to Lan, do you have an academic pathway aligned? So you're taking IEOP now. Do you plan to take an academic program after?
Yes, I choose the major is international business management.
Okay, so you have company there, which is totally fine. This is one of the things that comes along with learning English or learning any program online. There's always family interruptions, so we totally understand. So you are intending to study a postgraduate program. So you already have an undergraduate degree, you're taking IEOP, and you plan to study a postgraduate certificate program.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Great, thank you for sharing. V, I'll come back to you then. And I want to ask you, because Inning brought up a good point. Are you in Canada already, or are you still somewhere else? Are you studying from Canada?
Yeah, I'm already in Canada.
Okay, and how was that journey for you? Because you came here as an IEOP student. So
Yes, right now I'm as a SLC, I'm taking the child care. Last year I took IEOP just like want to improving my English and then go to my main major to like more understand and can like handle like the assignment and the test exam at the college.
okay, and it's great because you can multitask now, because you can be online in the car doing a session with us, and you're also learning English and you're learning an academic program. So it's quite impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Inning, I'll come back to you and I'll ask, do you have a lot of contact with former or recent graduates from IEOP, and even further from students who have already completed an academic program? So students who did IEOP and then academic. And if so, do you have any success stories or any information about how IEOP benefited them throughout their academic career and into their professional career after they graduated from academics?
Yes, Alex. I'll probably ask Ivy to help come up with examples as well. I do know a lot of our students are very successful in their academic program. So for example, we had a few students who joined at the very first intake of IEOP. So this would have been summer 2020 when we had to switch our program online completely. And we started the IEOP with a very small cohort of students. I think at the time it was about 12 students when we started it. So we have students from that time who started IEOP with us, who got into this online learning format and then progressed into the academic program and became really successful. So one example I have is Karen. Karen was from Chile, and she started, she actually came to Canada and went to a private English school. So you know, I know a lot of people will look around and look for different options when it comes to studying English and then be prepared to come into the academic program. So Karen was a student with some other English school in Toronto. And when everybody, not just us, everybody switched online, she was really feeling that she did not learn very well in that class that she had, right, with that other school. And because when they went to online, she felt like she was not part of the class and she had a hard time learning online. And then she was introduced to our program. And of course, you know, she wanted to study our academic program. I think she was in mental health and addiction service. That's the particular program she chose. So she knows she want to come to St. Lawrence. So she thought, okay, I will give St. Lawrence English program a try. So she started IEOP. And of course, because of her experience with online learning with another school, she was a little bit worried or a little bit concerned, but she is very determined to be successful. So she took our program, IEOP program. And what she told us was within the 2 weeks that she started with IEOP, she had learned more than what she had learned in that other school for the whole time she was there, which was, I think, almost 3 months. And in particular, because the format we have, we are preparing students to read, to write very well, also to be able to have classroom discussion, because you will need that skill when you go into your academic program. You have to be able to answer questions, to ask questions, to have a discussion with your classmates or with your teacher. So she felt we had the right focus. We gave her a lot of support, a lot of help in her writing. And she knows that's very important for her to be prepared. So she did a lot of writing. And this is what she said to us. She said, it is so hard. It is so hard. But she said, it is so good. Because she knows she improved a lot. So our program is hard because we set very high standard. We know what you need, right? So I don't want to discourage people and scare people and say, oh, this is a very hard program. That's not the point. The point is, this is the right program because you're gonna learn, you're gonna be pushed and challenged to learn so that you can be successful. That's the point. If we made everything very easy, and I see Lan and I see Xiao on the video nodding their head, if we made it easy, we are not helping you, right? And we're not making it so hard and so ridiculous that you cannot learn and you cannot be successful. We give you the challenge because we know you can learn. We know this is what you need, and you are going to feel this is a lot of hard work, but you are achieving that. You are doing the right thing, you are learning the right thing, and you are pushing yourself to learn. So to V's point earlier, she felt like she can now speak English and she can speak very well. She is well prepared. That's what we want our students to achieve. Like, you can do it. It is hard, but you can do it, and we are here to support you. So this is the example I can offer. One example from Karen, and I know there are many others that students are very well prepared, well equipped, because we give them the challenge up front. And when you continue on to your academic program, you will be continuously challenged because there's a new subject area. There are more new vocabularies you have to learn. You are still learning English. You will still continue to improve. But like I said earlier, this is a strong foundation for.
Thank you, Inning. That's a great point as well. You have to be challenged in order for it to be productive. So that's also why IEOP is offered at 3 different levels, so that the challenges are at the right level for your particular English journey. So, and you also mentioned your student Karen from Chile, which brings me back to Zhao's point earlier about an additional challenge in the classroom is the difference in accents sometimes when you're working with other students. So I'm curious, what does the international body look like for IEOP generally? What countries do you get students coming to you from?
I think we have a very diverse classroom. So I think all of our students here can speak about that as well. We have, like Xiao, we have students from China, we have students from Vietnam, some students from Korea, quite a few students from Korea have families. So some of the challenges I spoke about in terms of taking care of their family while they're studying, the flexible format of IEOP is better for that particular group of students. We also have students from some African country like Morocco. We have students from Azerbaijan. I think that's one student I really enjoyed chatting with him because I think he's our very first student from that region. Ivy, did I miss anything? I think that's the major countries.
Yes, and just to add on top of that, we also have a lot of students from South America countries like Mexico, Colombia, and well, Chile has started to grow. And this semester, we also have a student from Thailand.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's really important for prospective IEOP students to understand that your IEOP classroom will be global. And that's important because when you come to study at SLC, when you come to our academic classrooms, you're going to be surrounded by students from all over the world as well. So it's good to have those challenges early in your English language development and to see and learn from your peers from different countries to begin to understand their cultures and how that also influences their ability to learn. So thank you so much. Yining or Ivy, I'll ask you one more question, and then we'll get into a Q&A pretty soon because I want to leave time for any questions, and I think Zhao mentioned she might have some. So objectively, what advice would you give to a student here today who's considering taking IEOP? Maybe it's specific to the level they're going to study at, but generally, is there some kind of advice that you would give to students before they start studying in our IEOP programs?
Sure, I will start, and I'll ask Ivy if she has some advice too, because I think she interacts with the students a lot and support our teachers. So I'm sure Ivy has some good advice too. But just in terms of my general advice, you can do it. I think this is something that you have to put your mind to it and know that this is going to be a challenge, but we are here to support you. So more specific advice other than, I know a lot of the students here are very motivated and very driven for their success, and choosing to study in a different language or coming to a country to live and to study. It's a very big step, right? It's a big step, and it will change your life. So if you're considering this, and if you do decide to join St. Lawrence English program, I can assure you this is something that we share with you a lot. We share with your determination, your goal, and we are here to help students. So going back to the more specific advice, IEOP is online. So something I will say about preparing yourself is to make sure that you treat this class as seriously as you treat a regular class, where you maybe put on your good suit or your good clothes and good shoes and go to a class just like that. I think throughout this pandemic, we learned that we need to, even though we are doing this from home, we are devoting the same kind of focus and same kind of energy and same kind of motivation to this pursuit. And it's great that, Xiao, you have your family member right beside you and disrupt a little bit, but really it's okay. You need to learn how to manage that. You need to learn how to set aside a space or time that you can devote to this study, whether it's your online class or your self-study. So this class is important if this is something that you choose to do, and then you need to give that kind of importance and attention that it deserves. Then you are doing yourself the right service. You are giving yourself the time and the energy to be successful. And we're here every step of the way to help you. So that's my general advice, is once you determine to do something, then you do it with your whole heart and all the focus that you can give to it.
Yeah, thank you, Yining.
That's another good point, Yining. At SLC, whether you're studying IEOP or academic programs, we will do everything we can to support you along the way. So we are a mid-sized college, small to mid-sized college, and your classrooms will typically be a little bit smaller than average. We will give you every single support that you possibly could need to be successful as an English language learner, as a student in an academic program. It just comes down to what your motivation is and how much effort you are willing to put in as a student. So this is definitely a welcoming environment, and we would love to have you. And as Yining said, when you decide to do it, you should stick with your plan, because your gut feeling is usually the right one. So, okay. We have some questions, I know. I don't know what your name is. iPhone 12 is what you're logged in as in Zoom. Please feel free to unmute yourself, ask a question, or type it into the chat. Same goes for everybody else here today. Please feel free to type any questions you have, or raise your hand, or just begin asking a question. So we'll give a few minutes to do that right now.
Alex,
Hello?
can I ask something about the advice piece?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I know, like, I just want to reassure all the students that you don't need to worry about your learning prior to the program starts. However, just bring from a technology point of view, I do recommend that you have a really stabilized internet and a good equipment, like a computer with a camera that you can turn it on during your study sections. That is going to be very helpful. And prior to the program start, we will also have IT classes and workshops to, make you to get ready for everything, all the platforms you will be familiar with, and learn how to use it and test it before the program starts. However, I do think that it's also very important for you to be prepared and to gain a very smooth and great learning experience. Thanks, Alex.
That's smart, Ivy. Very smart to talk about that as well, because of course you need good internet. You need to have a reliable computer, have a microphone, have your camera. These are essentials to be able to study remotely, whether it's IEOP or an academic program. Absolutely. I think we had someone from the chat who is about to ask a question.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. I have a question regarding a confusion between the graduate certificate program and the master's program. So I am interested in applying for healthcare administration at your college, but I am very confused that whether I should apply for the graduate certificate or the master's, because I don't know what the prospects how the prospects between these two degrees differ in the job market.
I've just put my contact information into the chat there, so you can send me an email. Let me know a bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what your question is again, and I'll reply to you there, because that's a long conversation about choosing an academic program, whereas today we're focusing mostly on studying English as a second language, essentially, so our IEOP program. But I'd be happy to have that conversation with you offline. Just send me an email and then we can begin that chat, okay? Sure,
sir. Thank you so much, sir.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks for coming today. Are there any other guests today who might have questions about our IEOP programs? And I know that it's a bit daunting to come online and to ask these questions, especially if English is not your first language. This is a welcoming environment, but don't feel pressured to do so. As you will see, if you scroll back up through the chat, in case you've joined us a little bit late, all of our country coordinators, so we have representation from the Philippines, from China, from Korea, from Vietnam. They'll be happy to answer your questions, and they've inputted their contact details in the chat. So please feel free to reach out. Ivy, is there a contact email that you'd like students to reach out to if they want to contact someone directly about IEOP, and maybe they're coming from a different country outside of?
Yeah, of course. I'll leave my contact information over there, and so you can all reach out to me if you don't want to speak out during the section.
Wonderful, thank you. So any more questions, anything from our panelists, from our country coordinators? Any last comments from Inning or Ivy?
I have one more question, Alex.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, Inning, how can I continue to study on the SMRT when I finish the IEOP class?
So Xiao, I have put my email in the chat box, so do feel free to post your question, or we can talk about that specific to your needs and how you can finish this up. In general, especially at the advanced level, when you finish this level and when you have met the requirement, so for a diploma program, you need to reach 70% of your final grade. And for a graduate certificate program, you need to reach 85% of your final grade. So once you have achieved that, we will issue a certificate of completion. And also there will be a final grades report that shows all the skill area, reading, writing, speaking, or listening, all the areas, and also intercultural communication. So we'll tell you how well you have done in each of these areas, what level you have achieved. And then once you receive that, we will also share that with our admission team. Then they will basically go into your record and say, yes, you have completed your English requirement and you're now ready to move on to the academic program. So you will receive all these final and official documentation from our program. And we will take care of the process for you to progress into your academic program.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Ining. Thank you, Zhao, for the question. Last chance. Anybody with a question? Anybody with a comment? Feel free to say it now. And if not, I just want to take a moment to thank Ining and Ivy for joining us today from our IEOP program. Thank you so much for your time and for your insightful answers. And thank you to our panelists who have helped us with this session today. V, Lan, Zhao, thank you so much for joining. A question has just come into the chat. It's actually directed, not everybody can see it, it's just to me, but I'll just ask it out loud. So the question, so Ining, this will be for you and for Ivy. I know there are some language schools in Canada. What's the difference between IEOP and those types of schools?
That's a great question. And I probably prompted that question when I gave the example of our successful student, Karen. So it is true, there are many English schools in Canada. The ones that you probably have seen are all private schools. So that means they are like a business, right? So they run like a business company that offer the language program. So in that case, you know, they have a variety of programs people can choose from. And to study in those schools, they sometimes have also the academic English. So similar to the IEOP, we are academic English. We prepare students to study, to prepare them to come to an academic program. So in the way we describe this program, we call it pathway. So sometimes you will see that on website. They call it pathway program to university or to college. So there are a lot of choices, a lot of options for sure. And there are some other colleges who also offer this. But what I can say about IEOP and how this is different is this. If you have looked at the academic program that St. Lawrence offers you, and that's something that you want to pursue, then IEOP is a better option because you are already with St. Lawrence College. Through your teacher, through all the support that you get, you will be connected to the St. Lawrence community. So sometimes we have, for example, guest speaker from our academic program area, or our librarian who will come and talk about how you use our online library database to do research. So you will get to know former students, you'll get to know some of our professors, you'll get to know a lot of the staff who will support you and answer your questions. So you're already in St. Lawrence, basically, right? You're already part of the St. Lawrence community. So that is what I would suggest. If you have chosen For example, the previous question, the healthcare administration, that's something that really interests you and you think it's a good option, then I would strongly encourage you to start with St. Lawrence in terms of your English journey. So you're not coming to St. Lawrence later and have to relearn or have to start learning all these different things. So that preparation is stronger. Now, the other thing I would say, and this is of course up to everyone to do their research, with our IEOP program, we are very unique, not just our online learning format. And I'm going to talk about this more from my own experience learning English and how I translate that into the vision or the design of this program. I talk about the tutorial, the self-study, and the online program, online classes together. I really believe that's a winning and a most effective format for any learners. And this came a lot from my own experience. And I think some of our students here can speak to that too. Like many of you, I really like learning English when I was younger, since high school. I have received actually scholarship. I have been given various opportunity to go to competition for English, to take the test. And I was a very successful student in that way. And that's why I want to really have the opportunity to go study abroad. But through all that experiences, I was not comfortable using English. I was not able to communicate with native speaker, even though I have studied English a lot. What really helped me in my, I think the second or the last 2 years of my high school, was to go put myself in conversation club. I also had a friend of my mother's who was, my mother was teaching at the time. So she had another American friend who ended up being my tutor. And I will go to this tutor's home twice a week and just sit down and have a conversation, tell her about what I learned, what I'm trying to achieve in my academic study and preparation. That's what really helped me, was those one-on-one time with somebody that can guide me, that can answer my question, that can correct my mistake, not all the mistake, but slowly I realized, okay, something I said doesn't make sense, but she's giving me feedback. So our program is very unique in that way, that you have those one-on-one time. I don't know you can get that. I'm pretty sure you cannot get that in other private school or other colleges. And this combination of one-on-one and your self-study, again, that's what I found very, very effective when I was studying, is I go through this very intense experience, whether that's one-on-one or going to a group class where only English is spoken. I wasn't allowed to use my native language, and really put yourself in that environment. And you have to struggle. I was struggling, right? But gradually I become more and more comfortable, and gradually I've become more and more confident to open my mouth, to write something, and to give my writing to someone to correct, to take that feedback and continue to improve. So this is what our program is set up to do, is to give you all that right environment, variety of environment, one-on-one, your own time, and a group time, right? All three environments are very important for your learning and pushing yourself to improve. So this is something our program can offer. I don't think you will get similar experience elsewhere. IEOP is unique in that way.
Thank you, Ining. And I agree. And I'm getting the direct messages from this student here, but they say thank you. So yeah, very well said. Okay, we've reached our time limit for this morning, for the day. And all of the contact information is in the chat box. You can see the website for IEOP there. Sue from Korea has noted that those whose English language is even lower, and I'm not sure if you'll be at this session today, but if it's below the starting level for our IEOP, then there is an option for you as well, and that's called POET, POET. And so definitely, if you feel like you fall into that category, you can research our POET program through our website, but also we'll help you to assess your level of English ability and put you in the program that's the right level for you. So you don't have to worry about being placed too high or too low. We'll work with you to make sure that it's the right fit for you. And with that, I'm going to bring things to a close. So I'll stop the recording and